Tune in for Patrick Ching's Painting in Paradise.
Aloha, I'm Patrick Ching, and thank you for joining me on Painting in Paradise.
In this episode, we'll see the making of a mural painted for an exhibit at the Bishop Museum's Science Adventure Center. The mural is the backdrop for 26 intricately hand-carved native Hawaiian forest birds created by master bird carver Haruo Uchiyama of Japan. You'll see how the mural was prepared and started in a studio, then completed at the museum during the Festival of Pacific Arts and Culture. Then you'll hear from wildlife artist Julian Hume on how the exhibit came together and how his art and skills contributed to it. Finally, you'll see the installation and dedication of the exhibit at its opening night. Enjoy all this and more on this avian episode of Painting in Paradise! Now meet master bird carver Haruo Uchiyama of Japan. This interview was done in 2020 when Haruo had a vision that he wanted to bring to life.
アロハバードカービングをやっております内山春夫です。私は2016年にオアフ島で行われた太平洋海鳥学会に参加しました。その時ハワイの固有種があまりにも少ないのに驚きました。ビショップミュージアムで40種のハワイミツスイの剥製を見せてもらい、図面を描きました。あれから2年半かけて、ハワイミツスイ40種のバードカービングが完成しました。問題は、このバードカービングをいかに活用するかということです。私の計画では、大きなパネルにハワイの固有の植物の絵を描いてもらい、私のカービングをそこに取り付けるということです。そしてそれは200年前のハワイを再現できるパネルになるはずです。そのパネルの前に子どもたちをたくさん呼んで、ハワイの自然の尊さ、ハワイの今後、そしてハワイの自然を、ハワイの固有の植物、そして小鳥たちを守るためにも、ぜひともこの計画を進めたいと思います。
When Haruo Uchiyama presented his idea for an exhibit of his Hawaiian bird carvings to then Princess Michiko of Japan, she showed him a picture she had of mine entitled Hidden Valley. Princess Michiko was an avid birder and had been given the artwork by the Kahala Mandarin Hotel during her stay in Hawaii. She suggested to Haruo to contact me to do the background painting for his carved Hawaiian birds. Haruo was determined to present his Hawaiian bird carvings as a Bishop Museum exhibit, and after many years and many contributors, it finally came about. This exhibit is a combination of Haruo's birds, a modified version of my Hidden Valley painting, and the craftsmanship of the Bishop Museum's exhibit builders. When we return, you'll see the making of the background mural for Haruo Uchiyama's meticulous bird carvings. And now I'll show you how I painted the background mural for the Uchiyama bird carvings. First, I did a mock-up design showing the plants where I was going to paint them and the birds where they were going to go. I started with special laminated plyboards. They had to be cut with precision, then sanded, then primed. I used a combination of gesso primer tinted with acrylic paint to get me an earth tone to start with, and an old-fashioned grid system to show me where to draw things. Then I began to paint the painting with acrylic paints, starting with the farthest away things and working my way to the front. Soon I had the mural completely covered with its first layer of paint. Then starting from the back, I completely painted it again. I took plexiglass shapes of the islands and hung them in the places that they were going to be. I used pins and fishing line and tape and notes and a couple cowboy boots. Then I continued painting the rest of the background. And when you need your paint to dry a little faster, you can use a blow dryer. Painting waterfalls and rainbows and misty forests can be fun, but it can also be tricky. And now that I've got the distant background finished, I'm going to pack it up and take it to Bishop Museum and paint the plants. And my buddy Dave's going to help. Once we set up at the museum, it was time to paint the plants that the birds depended on. These included acacia koa, and iliahi or sandalwood, ohi'alehua, ie, and more. Then I got a visit by the botanist who had been helping me through email. I didn't know it was him because we never met in person before.
Wow, it looks great.
It looks fantastic.
Oh yeah, you got the nuku in there.
Yeah. Oh, you the botanist?
Yeah, that's me.
All right. Are you Miles?
Miles, yeah.
Oh, right on, Miles.
Good to meet you, Patrick.
I'm trying to make a picture that's kind of all islandish.
Yeah.
My name's Miles Kealoha Thomas, botanist at the Bishop Museum. So the plants represent a lot of the kind of more general stuff that you find on all islands. The first one right here, so the Ohi'alehua, so Metrosideros polymorpha. Metrosideros is a genus that's found throughout the Pacific. In Hawaii, Metrosideros polymorpha is the most common native forest tree, and it is arguably one of the most important food sources of nectar for honeycreepers. And then you have, climbing on this ohia right here, you have the i'ie. So a lot of the nectarous birds like the oma'o, the kama'o, and the o'u, they would be dispersing these. But koli'i are found almost exclusively in cloud forests. If you look at the shape of the bills of birds like i'iwi or the akialoa or the o'o stuff, they have curved beaks, matches the curved tubular flowers of the koli'i. Koa or acacia koa is an endemic species to the Hawaiian Islands. It is in the acacia genus. Koa have these kind of pom-pom ball-like flowers that also produce nectar. So you usually see stuff like amakihi foraging, feeding off it, and then there's a lot of insects that are inside the bark, inside the dying branches. On Maui, you have the kiwikiu, the Maui parrotbill. Those, you'll see them, cracking open, bashing open twigs of koa to get the insects inside. But then you have some other stuff that's not totally common. The nuku'iiwi, so the Strongylodon rubor or Hawaiian jade vine. Was watching Patrick paint, I kind of noticed this area over here where it would be a good idea to put some silhouettes of stuff. You get these tall palm tree cyania. I don't know if you can add a couple just silhouetted. So, hiking through Kokee and looking at old photos of cyanias and other lobelias. There's several species of, tall palm tree-like lobelias, and one of the most characteristic ones is from Kauai, which is called the hahalua. The process for this artwork, I was involved in the conceptual aspects of it, and it was really nice to talk story over email to Patrick and converse with Molly and the other people. Seeing it actually being completed and worked on and being able to help in this process, I have a lot of aloha for all the people involved, especially just to educate other people about our manu, about the dire necessity for intervention on the human level, and just education is that first step. As the theme kind of goes, without protecting our manu, then we'll be losing more plants.
One of my favorite parts about painting this mural is when other people help.
So anything you do is going to be just good and help build it up. Yeah, you can use sound effects. Good.
Like one of the kids.
That's really good. Look what it does.
Beautiful rainbow, my beautiful rainbow and me. Tomorrow I'll marry my rainbow. Together we'll live happily.
Though I assured them they'd do just fine, some folks are still pretty nervous about it. Though it took a long time and a lot of work, eventually the painting was finished. And don't forget your signature.
When we return, we'll meet British wildlife artist Julian Hume.
And now meet British wildlife artist Julian Hume.
My name's Julian Hume and I'm an England boy, and from a very early age I was interested in natural history, and I was blessed with the ability to be able to paint, and I took that forward as my profession. But then I got interested in the science side, so I went to college, I got a degree in paleontology and finally a PhD at the Natural History Museum in London, studying fossil birds. With my interest in art and now with a science background, I really got interested in extinct birds from islands around the world. And so I wrote to the Smithsonian Institution when Storrs Olsen was created there, and his then wife Helen James, who had just found all these extinct fossil birds on the Hawaiian Islands. And by pure luck, they asked me if I'd like to join them to actually reconstruct these extinct birds, which are only known from bones, in an artistic way. What an opportunity that was. So I came here in 1990 just to do that. After I returned back to the UK from that amazing trip to the Hawaiian Islands, I had all this information. I then was commissioned to provide a mural of Maui, pre-human, showing all the extinct birds that were once there, including the fossil ones. What a massive undertaking. 3 meters long, about 1.5 meters high, and so I incorporated all these birds into this painting. The mural was then shipped to the birdhouse in the Smithsonian Zoo, where it went on exhibit for quite a number of years. About 10 years ago, they closed the birdhouse, and so my mural went into storage and has not been seen since, until earlier this year it was decided that it should go on permanent display, and where else and where would it be better than the Bishop Museum. Now this is going to be a fantastic project because alongside the mural, Mr. Uchiyama's incredible carvings of all of the recent known honey creepers are going to be on display, and this includes recently extinct and the ones that are still with us to this day. Now, supporting those, Patrick Ching is going to make this wonderful mural so that it looks like those birds are actually in a natural environment. Now, also with that, there's going to be a display of the original fossils, which I've used in order to reconstruct my birds. And alongside those, there's going to be some reconstructions of skeletons of some of these flightless geese, which were really big and massive. So the whole thing is going to be a wonderful example of Hawaiian bird evolution. Although this is an exciting project to be part of, there is an underlying sadness about the whole thing because most of these birds are actually extinct. Now, another point we would like to make with this exhibit is to show what we've done wrong and how we can prevent that happening again in the future. It's all about conservation. We must preserve these last few remaining birds before it's too late. Time is running out.
When we return, we'll see the installation and opening of the Lele Nā Manu exhibit. More than half of Hawaii's endemic birds have already become extinct. Many of those have never been seen by modern man, and some of those are only known from fossil remains. Learn about them through the pages of Extinct Birds of Hawaii, written by Michael Walther and illustrated by Julian Hume. You can get this and other books by Michael Walther at nature stores throughout Hawaii and at mutualpublishing.com. The Lele o Nā Manu exhibit took a lot of dedication and hard work, all the way from its planning stage through its installation. After the painting was done, the plexiglass island shapes were positioned. It took a highly experienced crew that was in on the designing and construction of the exhibit. Where it was needed, laser guidelines were used to ensure the accurate placement of the plexiglass island supports. And don't worry, all of the screw holes got painted over with primer and paint. The photos and text and graphic arts were a major part of the exhibit as well. Then the exhibit team carefully installed Julian's mural onto the wall. Then it was time to place each bird on their mounts, which was attached to the islands that they lived on, which was attached to the background mural. And after all of the islands had their birds put on them, the exhibit was complete. On opening night, the early guests started to trickle in. A highlight of the evening was the panel discussions by cultural representatives, scientists, and artists.
There's already just on this trip by illustrating these birds. So this is the wonderful thing about science and art.
Haruo, Julian, and myself were thrilled to meet with all of the supporters of the museum and all of the people who helped to make the Lele o Nā Manu exhibit a success.
For that
statue, that big, it's like giving a birth to the twin.
Yes, exactly.
But it started because the birdhouse at the National Zoo, which had this beautiful Julian Hume mural, was renovating, and they took the mural out and they put it in storage. It's such a tremendous work of art, and it's such a nice history of Hawaiian birds. So I checked with Molly and I checked with people at the zoo about whether this could actually go to the Bishop Museum, and that the people of Hawaii and the visitors to Hawaii could enjoy it.
Well, this is such an amazing, beautiful display. The carvings, I've been keeping an eye on them for a long time, and I was just thrilled to find out that Patrick was going to be the one to do the mural in the background. Thank you for doing such a great job on this mural. It's just exquisite.
For master bird carver Haruo Uchiyama, it was years of hard work and persistence to make his dream of having his bird carvings help Hawaii's birds through an exhibit at the Bishop Museum come true.
いやー、長い8年間かけて、こういう夢のようなものが出来上がって最高な気分です。ハワイの鳥が絶滅に向かってるっていうことにすっごく衝撃を受けて、それでこの企画を私は考えました。パトリック・チンさんの絵はとっても不思議な縁で、今私の手元に一体あるんで、一つあるんですけども、その絵に感激して、この絵の前に私のカービングを並べてみたいっていうようなことを瞬間に考えたんです。ここにあるのは剥製が残ってるものを復元しましたけども、今はまだ骨しか残ってない18種類をここに加えたいと思います。今それを作ってる最中です。このアジアの鳥が500万年前にハワイにやってきて、 その500万年っていう長い長い年月かけて60種ほどにこう進化したっていうのがこのパネルで一目瞭然に見えるわけですけども、非常にダイナミックに進化したっていうその不思議な世界を皆さんに感じ取ってもらいたいと。
So over 5 million years ago, that this particular bird was flying over to Hawaii, and then that evolved into those birds that you see in this display case. So it was a very dynamic evolution that they went through.
Thank you for joining me on Painting in Paradise. I hope you enjoyed seeing the Lele o Nā Manu exhibit come together at the Bishop Museum. I'd love to see the art that you're inspired to do, so you can send pictures of you and your art to my website at patrickchingart.com. Aloha!
Lehua blossoms blooming red upon my favorite tree. I saw you and my heart began to pound. You're nothing like the other birds and prettier than me. I tried to serenade you with a sound. Then you began to sing along to perfectly complete our song. And every day we'd harmonize enchanting melody. For years we fluttered high above the ground. There came a day eventually when your voice left the earth. Nothing can describe the way it felt. The forest now sings other songs, but none of them are ours. The parts that you sang back to me were stealth. And so we lived our life together, wealth we measured by the feather. Our future now will not exist that you're not here with me. I'm calling you but singing to myself. I'm calling you but just singing to myself.